All right, you, me, and Jeff Bezos, we all have the same 24 hours every single day. So how does Jeff Bezos make literally $1 trillion? I'm standing here as the founder of a $200,000 a month agency at 23 years old, and you're sitting here on YouTube trying to find out how to make money online. Well, the first thing that I'll say is it's damn near impossible, maybe one day with AI, to build a 7-figure company by yourself. So then fundamentally, the only way to build a 6, 7, 8, 9-figure company is by getting other people to build it for you. So the difference between those who make trillions, those who make millions, and those who make nothing, a lot of the time it comes down to how good they are at outsourcing and actually getting people to build their business for them. So once I understood this, I actually took an interesting recruitment strategy that was actually used on me when I was coming up the ranks as a AAA hockey player and flipped it into a business recruitment management and training system to be able to consistently attract high quality talent into my company so they can scale the business for me while I can focus on bigger picture, high leverage things that push the needle forward. Now in this video, I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes masterclass clip where I actually break this down and how you guys can just copy paste it and implement it into your business. Now your skepticism may be high, and that's fair enough, but I'm not here to sell you a course. In fact, the only course that I have available you can get for 100% free. I actively spend my days building my own agency, and my selfish desire is that you use information like this to build your own agency. So when you get to a point where you have a few clients, you have an offer, you have product market fit, you consider working with our team to supercharge your appointment setting, place closers for you, and even run your service delivery. So without further ado, I'll get straight into it now. Essentially, when it comes into building a team, the first thing that we need to understand, and this is like a big mistake that I think a lot of entrepreneurs make, especially in the beginning, I used to make it myself too, is that if somebody on our team isn't performing, it's our fault, right? And if somebody on our team isn't performing, it's either because we hired the wrong person. Well, it was our responsibility to hire them. They didn't know what to do, like they weren't trained, and it was our responsibility to train them, or they weren't motivated, right? And it's also our responsibility to motivate them. So in regards to hiring the right person, we'll typically build a hiring funnel in the same way that you'd build like a sales funnel %. And it starts with your ad copy, right? So we'll write the ad copy as, when we're writing ad copy, it's not just like, hey, we're looking for a closer because we want somebody to take our sales calls. We're selling the dream of working for the company, right? If somebody is looking for a closing role, like especially like a closing role, right? Like that's one of the biggest demand gaps in, I think, the online business space today, especially with like skilled closers, right? There's a lot of closers out there, very few skilled ones, right? But in addition to that, right, because there's a large amount of closers, right, those closers also have ample opportunity to go work on any offer that they want because there's such a demand to get good closers, right? Like pretty much every company over 50, 100K per month is always actively looking for closers. So it starts with actually having a good ad creative, we'll call it that, to attract, a large volume of people. Then what we like to do is we like to identify what the 5 key character traits for somebody to succeed in this role are, right? So let's say it's relentlessness, coachability, existing ability, intelligence, and character, right? Like I think those are the 5 ones that we use. Then in our pre-application form, we'll get all their name, email, contact information, stuff like that. Then we'll ask them 5 questions. And each one of those questions relates back to one of the key character traits that we know it'll take somebody to succeed in this role. Then what we do is similar to, I don't know if you ever played sports, or I don't know if anybody will get this, but I played sports, but then after I played sports, I coached hockey as well. And one of the things that I did at the beginning of the season is you would go through tryouts. And essentially you had this like entire list of kids. Like I played hockey. So it was like this entire list of kids. And at the top, it was like skating ability, hockey IQ, shooting ability, defensive ability, and you essentially just rated them out of 5 on each individual thing. And over the tryout, and as the tryouts went through, you just kept adjusting the ratings, and then you took the top 20-ish kids. It's the same process that we'll follow when we're recruiting some talent as well, right? So we'll go through the application forms, we'll roughly rate everybody on what we think they are based out of 5 on those 5 key character traits, and then we'll take the top 50% and we'll schedule an interview with them. And then on the interview, we'll ask them like 15 questions. 3 of them relate back to those top character traits, those 5 key character traits. Then we'll readjust their scores, right? Then again, we'll take the top 50 of that and we'll do like a hot seat. So if it's like a sales call, it'll be like a closer role play. If it's like a creative role, it'll be like, hey, send me the sample video or something along the lines of that. And then again, we'll go through, we'll rate everybody else again, and then we'll just hire the highest rated person, right? So that ensures that you hire the right person.
Then when it comes to training them, typically training will be like a 2+ week process, right? First of all, there should be a lot of preliminary content, because one of the things that we talk about here a lot is, and it's very important, is to systemize before you delegate, unless you can pay somebody 200-300 grand a year off the bat. So unless you can go to and pay somebody 200-300 grand a year off the bat, you probably, like, you're better off learning how to do that thing yourself and then building a system around it so you can get talent at a rate that your company can afford, unless you're already, million plus a year. And so from there, it's like you should already have the script styled, the closing calls recorded, how to overcome all these objections, because you've done that first, right? Or if it's a cold calling, if it's closing, if it's video editing, if it's ads managing, whatever that case may be, right? So then you'll give them, 3 or 4 days to consume a whole bunch of training content to get up to speed with that. Then it'll typically be like you doing the work, them watching you, right? Then it'll be them doing the work, you watching them, right? You do that for 1 to 2 weeks, and then they're off on their own. And then from there, it's the motivation, right? So we got to keep them motivated. Now, in order to keep somebody motivated, it's like you have to sell the vision of them working for your company is the path to whatever their personal goals are, right? So when we onboard somebody, they're going to have a whole wide variety of different goals. Some people might want to make an extra 2K a month so they can stay home and take their kids to school. Some people might want to make 200K a month and they wanted to work with you to learn how you're building your business, right? Everybody that we take on is going to have different personal ambitions, different personal goals, different income goals, lifestyle goals, all that kind of things. So the first thing is to understand like who they are and what they want, like where they actually want their goals to be. And then it's like, okay, if you want to make, 100, you want to start your own business, make 100K a month. Okay, well, here's what we can do for you. You got to hit XYZ KPIs, and then so long as that you hit XYZ KPIs, for example, will also allow you to sit in on these meetings that we're having to work on our marketing, so you can learn, like, you almost reward them for hitting their KPIs, reward them with things that are going to take them, towards their end goal, right? Or if their end goal is to make an extra 2K a month, or so they can stay home with their kids and work less, it's like, okay, well, you're going to have to build this out. You're going to have to systemize this. If we can get our fulfillment operations down to this efficiency, you're going to have an extra 4 hours every day to hang out with your kid. And then in addition to that, team meetings are huge, right? So, we have a team meeting every Tuesday and Thursday. Everybody on the team, doesn't matter if they're a setter, Noah and I are on the call. Everybody on the team is on these calls. And what it allows is, it allows the opportunity for people to buy in something bigger than they are, right? And to people to be a part of something bigger, right? Because it's like one of the easiest ways to demotivate an employee is when you have like a media buyer or a marketer or a closer, whatever that case may be, and they're just kind of like working on their own, right? Like you're their only point of contact, you work with them, they're kind of just like living on their own. They get a lot more motivated when they become part of something big. And then in addition to that, 1 call per week, about 15 to 20 minutes each with them one-on-one, just to talk about, how they're doing, what they're struggling with, what any roadblocks are, if anything's going on in their personal life. We'll have guys on our team that'll sit down with, and, they'll tell me that, like, well, I know Noah was one of our employees, like, their girlfriend broke up with them. And so like Noah was like helping them out with things like that, right? Like just to make sure that they're taken care of both on a personal and a professional level.